The swastika is one of the oldest and most sacred symbols in Vedic tradition, drawn on doors, books, temples, and in rituals to invoke the blessings of positive energy. The word swastika comes from Sanskrit. Su means good or auspicious, asti means existence, and ka as a suffix. It means a sign that promotes overall well being and prosperity. The swastika four arms represent stability in all directions, the balance of opposites, and the eternal cycle of life involving creation, preservation, dissolution, and renewal. In this video, we'll uncover its real origins in the Vedic culture. We'll need to go through a little background before we get to the specifics of how the swastika sign got its origins. The Earth's journey around the Sun is not a perfect circle, but an ellipse. This gives us two special points each year: the perihelion, when the Earth is closest to the Sun in December-January period, and the aphelion, when it is farthest in the June-July for the Indian subcontinent or most of the parts in the northern hemisphere. The real rhythm of seasons and the reason for all the seasons comes from the Earth's axial tilt of 23.4 degrees, which directs sunlight differently across the year as it circles the Sun. In India, this cycle is celebrated through 6 ritus or the seasons: the Vasanta or the spring, Grishma or the summer, Varsha or the monsoon, Sharada or the autumn, Hemanta or the pre-winter, and Shishira, which is the winter. These shifts are anchored by the solstices and the equinoxes. The summer solstice in June, when the sun is overhead at the Tropic of Cancer, marks the longest day in the north. The winter solstice in December, when the sun is overhead at the Tropic of Capricorn, marks the shortest day. The equinoxes in March and September bring equal day and night, balancing the light and the darkness. In Vedic tradition, these two halves of the year are called Uttarayana, the sun's northward journey, which begins with the winter solstice, and the Dakshinayana, the southward journey, beginning with the summer solstice. Since the ancient times, humans have looked not just to the sun and the moon in the night sky for direction, rhythm, and meaning. There is a concept of circumpolar constellations which do not set below the horizon and stay visible for the entire night and all year long. One of the circumpolar constellation is the Saptarishi Maṇḍala, or Ursa Major in English, which is central in Vedic astronomy and all the Puranic stories. Circumpolar constellations have been used as navigation tools by ancient seafarers around the globe. Among the most celebrated constellation is Ursa Major, the Big Dipper, also known in India as the Saptarishi Maṇḍala or the Seven Sages. Along with it shines the steadfast star Polaris, the Dhruvatara, unmoving and eternal. Together, their dance across the seasons gave birth to one of the most sacred symbols of humanity, the swastika, the sacred swastika. Let's look more closely as to how the symbol has its origins. The Saptarishis, or the 7 luminous stars, form the Big Dipper, part of the Ursa Major constellation. In Vedic tradition, these stars are linked to the 7 eternal sages: Atri, Bharadvaja, Gautama, Jamadagni, Kashyapa, Vashishta, and Vishwamitra. And there is the corresponding names as they are known in English as well. The story of Manu and the 7 sages is depicted in the Puranas as new beginnings of the world. Similar flood stories have existed around the world, like Noah's Ark and the Viracocha stories that we have read about. The story of Saptarishis and Manu has been mentioned across the Vedas, Puranas, and the Upanishads. The references take us through Rig Veda that mentions the Saptarishis as the hymn composers. Atharva Veda references Saptarishis as cosmic beings aligned with the order. Satyapatha Brahmana connects Saptarishis to cosmic functions. Maitri Upanishad mentions the Saptarishis as guardians of time and directions. Vishnu Purana, the book 3, identifies Saptarishis Maṇḍala as the stars of Ursa Major. Bhagavata Purana, Skanda 8 and 9, lists the Saptarishis for different Manavataras. Matsyamara Purana, Vayu Purana, Brahmanda Purana describe Saptarishis as constellation stars and great sages who instructed the society. At the center of the cosmic rotation of Ursa Major lies Polaris, the Dhruva Tara. Unlike other stars, Polaris remains almost fixed in the northern sky. Ancient seers saw this as the cosmic axis, the still point around which the heavens revolve. In the Puranas, to explain the importance of Polaris star and Ursa Major or the Saptarishi Maṇḍala, so that everyone can understand and remember in a simple manner, there is a story of young devotee Dhruva who complained to his mom that he was not so loved by his father. So his mother asked him to pray to God Vishnu. And then Dhruva was granted immortality by Vishnu and placed in the heavens as the pole star, symbolizing unshakable devotion and dharma. Polaris is always steady and the Saptarishis rotate around it. Across the seasons, this constellation appears in 4 distinct quadrants at dusk, that is, just after the sunset. In spring, it leans towards the southeast. In summer, it rises higher in the northeast. In autumn, it shifts to the northwest. In winter, it rests lower in the southwest. This rotation is eternal, marking the cycle of time, the changing of seasons, and the rhythm of the cosmos. Just as day follows night and seasons follow different seasons, the Saptarishis remind us of life's unending flow. So here lies the sacred connection. When we trace the seasonal positions of the Saptarishis around Polaris, their path creates the Swastika symbol. Each arm of the Swastika represents one quadrant of their rotation. The whole figure is a symbol of auspiciousness, stability, and cosmic order, or the Rita that is assigned to the seasonal ritus. It is a sacred emblem of well-being, representing the eternal rotation of the heavens around a central truth. The auspicious sign of Swastika also encodes a deeper truth. It unites motion and stillness, time and eternity. The Saptarishis rotate, whereas Polaris, it stands firm. Together, they show the dance of life around a still center. In human life as well, our sciences and pranas move in cycles, waking, dreaming, sleeping states, yet there is a witness within, unmoving, like Polaris. The Swastika reminds us to live in balance, to honor the rhythms of change while anchoring ourselves in the eternal. From the vast sky above to the sacred symbols drawn in homes and temples, the Swastika is the mark of life's rhythm and balance, born from the eternal dance of the Saptarishis around Polaris. It is a reminder that while the world turns, there is always a center within us that remains unmoved. This is the gift of the cosmos, the union of time and eternity, change and permanence, movement and truth.